You ever check your bank account on a random Tuesday and feel that quiet drop in your stomach? Not full panic, not overdraft, just that low-level stress. You got paid, you didn't go crazy, you didn't book a Miami trip, you didn't YOLO into Tesla calls on Robinhood, and yet somehow it's thinner than it should be. You tell yourself it's just inflation. You blame Zillow rent jumps. You blame Publix groceries being $120 for what used to be $70. You blame Fed rate hikes. And yeah, all that's real, but there's something else. There's an invisible leak quietly draining about $400 a month from your life. And it's not lattes, it's not Netflix, it's not avocado toast. It's a psychological leak. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The moment most people don't talk about. Picture this. It's 11:47 p.m. You're in bed, phone in your hand. You just watched 3 day-in-my-life videos. A couple finance guys talking about their 300K stock portfolios. Someone bragging about buying their third rental in Texas because no state income tax, bro. You weren't even trying to compare, but now your brain feels behind. So you click Amazon, then you open Zillow, then you check your 401k, then you think about starting a side hustle. You don't buy anything, but something shifts. The next day, you grab lunch out instead of meal prepping. You upgrade your phone early. You justify Uber instead of walking. You subscribe to another tool for your future business idea. Nothing dramatic, just small, frictionless yeses. That's the leak. Not one purchase, not one bad decision, a constant background hum of comparison and low-grade dissatisfaction. On average, it's about $400 a month. Here's the rule. Spending isn't driven by math, it's driven by identity tension. Let me explain. Most people think money problems are about numbers. Budget more, track expenses, cut 3 subscriptions, buy generic at Walmart. That's math. But math doesn't explain why someone making $60K feels broke and someone making $60K 5 years ago felt fine. Your brain is constantly asking, am I keeping up? Am I falling behind? Am I the kind of person who's winning? When your internal answer is not really, your behavior changes, not consciously, but quietly. You start spending to close the identity gap. That gap is the $400 leak. Let's break the 400 down. It's not one big thing. It's $60 in random food delivery because you deserve it, $45 in unused subscriptions you forgot about, $120 upgrading lifestyle to match coworkers, $80 in impulse Amazon purchases, $50 more in groceries because you're shopping stressed and tired, $50 in why not spending on weekends. Add it up, there's your $400. And the crazy part is, you don't feel rich when you spend it. You don't feel reckless, you barely notice it. Because it's emotional spending, not logical spending. It's patching a feeling. Your brain runs on 2 forces. Avoid pain, seek status. Not Ferraris, not Lambos. Status in your tribe. Your tribe used to be 20 people. Now it's the entire internet. You're comparing your Tuesday to someone's highlight reel in Miami. Your 2018 Honda to someone's just bought my dream Tesla, your apartment to a 27-year-old who says real estate changed my life. So your nervous system feels behind. When humans feel behind, they don't save, they soothe. Food, convenience, tiny upgrades, little flexes. It's not stupidity, it's regulation. You're regulating your emotional state through spending. That's the leak. Here's the part that should make you sit up. $400 a month is $4,800 a year, invested in the S&P 500 at an average historical return of around 8 to 10%. Over 20 years, that's roughly $250,000 plus. Over 30 years, closer to $600,000. That's not guru hype, that's boring compounding math. And yet nobody feels the pain of losing $600,000 because it leaks $13 at a time. There's a psychological threshold at about $10,000 saved. Below $10,000, you feel fragile. One car repair? Panic. One medical bill? Stress. Layoff rumors?
401k doom scrolling. Above 10,000, something changes. You breathe differently. You negotiate your salary differently. You don't tolerate toxic bosses as easily. You don't panic sell during market dips. You don't become a bag holder because of FOMO. Why? Because you're not desperate. And desperation is expensive. Here's a metaphor. Imagine your financial life like a bathtub. Your paycheck is the faucet. Your spending is the drain. Most people obsess over turning the faucet higher. New job, side hustle, overtime, crypto moonshot. But if the drain is open, it doesn't matter. You can make $90K and still feel broke. You can make $120K in California paying $3,000 rent and still feel behind. The leak keeps the water level low. But here's the beautiful part. When you plug the drain even slightly, momentum flips. You start seeing progress. Progress builds identity. Identity builds discipline. Discipline builds options. The moment everything changes. There's a quiet moment when you cross your first real milestone. Maybe it's 5,000 saved. Maybe it's paying off student loans. Maybe it's maxing your Roth IRA for the first time. You don't post about it. You don't flex. But something shifts. You stop being someone who's trying to get ahead. You become someone who does get ahead. That identity shift is worth more than any side hustle, and it starts by stopping the leak. Now let's talk about the trap. You finally build momentum. You hit 10K. You feel good. And then lifestyle inflation creeps in. You think, I've earned this. You upgrade apartments. You lease a nicer car. You start flying better seats. You rationalize, YOLO. And slowly the leak returns, just at a higher income level. This is why people making 150K still feel broke. The leak scales with identity. If your identity is, I need to look successful, your spending will match it. If your identity is, I value freedom, your spending will protect it. Here's the shift. Stop asking, how do I look like I'm winning? Start asking, how do I increase my optionality? Optionality is the real flex. It's being able to quit, move states, switch careers, take 6 months off, say no to a bad deal. You don't get that from looking rich. You get that from not leaking $400 a month. Let's say you're 24. You make 58K. After taxes, maybe $3,800 hits your account. Rent, $1,600. Car, insurance, phone, $600. Food, $500. Random stuff, $700. You think you're just surviving, but hidden inside that random stuff is $400 of identity spending. You redirect that into $300 automatic investment into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, $100 into cash savings. No drama, no diamond hands, no meme stocks. 10 years later, you're the calm one during market crashes. You're not panic selling during a Fed rate scare. You're not chasing Amazon stock splits or Tesla hype cycles because you crossed the threshold. Momentum doesn't start at 100K. It starts at 1,000. The first $1,000 saved feels impossible because you're fighting old habits, emotional spending, comparison, FOMO, social pressure. Once you hit it, your brain updates. Oh, I can do this. And that belief compounds faster than money. Imagine you don't fix the leak. 5 years pass. Rent climbs again. Groceries don't get cheaper. You upgrade phones twice. You treat yourself every stressful month. You make more money, but your savings barely move. You hit 35. You realize you've earned $500,000 over the past decade and have almost nothing to show for it. That regret? That's heavier than cutting $400 today. You plug the leak. You don't become extreme. You don't eat rice and beans forever. You just become aware. You redirect $400, month by month, year by year. At 30, you have options. At 35, you have leverage. At 40, you're not scared of layoffs. You're not checking Zillow in panic mode. You're not refreshing Robinhood during outages. You're steady, and steady wins. Here's the simple test. For 30 days before any non-essential purchase, ask, Is this solving a problem or soothing a feeling? If it's solving a problem, cool. If it's soothing a feeling, pause 24 hours. That pause alone cuts the leak in half.
Second, track identity spending as a category, not entertainment, not shopping. Label it honestly. Awareness shrinks it. Third, automate your redirect. MoneyFam, automation beats motivation every time. Set it to move before you see it. Let me be clear, this isn't anti-fun. It's anti-unconscious spending. It's about spending on things you genuinely care about. Travel? Go hard. Fitness? Invest. Experiences with people you love? Absolutely. But random emotional leakage because Instagram made you feel behind? That's what we're cutting. Picture yourself 10 years from now, not richer in a flashy way, just calmer, more stable, more grounded. You look back at this version of you, the one stressed on Tuesday nights, the one wondering where the money went, and you'd say, you weren't bad with money, you were just reacting. You didn't need to earn more first, you just needed to close the leak. Because the invisible $400 wasn't about dollars, it was about identity. And once you chose freedom over appearance, everything compounded, quietly, slowly, then all at once. Plug the leak, cross the first threshold, and let momentum do what it's always done for patient people. I'll see you on the other side.